Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. Today is a long overdue manga slash novel haul. It's been a while since I have really bought any books. I think the last haul I did was about 4 months ago, but just to give you guys some context, I don't do any more pre-orders just because I don't like really waiting around for a long time for books to come out. So I only buy books in stock, and I think I found the place where I can buy books from. And if you can't tell from the boxes, I only buy books now from Books A Million. So I do have their membership, and they do have some pretty good sales during like major holidays, as well as like coupons that they give out occasionally. So for this particular haul, I mainly focused on books that I'm collecting under the Kodansha and Seven Seas line, but it's been a while since I made such a large book purchase, so I'm so excited to show you guys all of the new volumes that I got. So without further ado, let's get on with the unboxing. So to start off, we have our first series, which is A Sign of Affection, and I've talked about this series numerous times on my channel and even recently as well, because I am collecting the Blu-ray of the anime. Thoroughly enjoy the series. It's one of my favorite shoujo that I always look forward to. So yeah, I have been meaning to catch up on getting the manga volumes because I just haven't been buying a lot of Kodansha volumes recently, but I'm glad that I'm like basically caught up at this point, at least for the in-stock volume. But yeah, so we have here our first volume cover, which is volume 7. I love the background color, like this blue pastel. It's just so beautiful, and of course every volume has a beautiful illustration of Itsumi and Yuki. They look stunning in every single cover that I own. This is the volume 7 cover. Absolutely stunning. And again, I love the flower border, so beautiful. And each volume comes with a color page, so let's check it out. So yeah, we have our girls here, Rin, Emma, and Yuki. They look absolutely stunning. I love that they are sharing like the same color for their outfit, but each outfit is slightly different. Been enjoying the development of like Itsumi and Yuki's relationship as we progress into the later volumes, and getting more of like an understanding of like each character's background and their kind of story overall. It's been really great. Here we have is volume 8, and again, love the background color, purple. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful, and I love this cover as well. Like, oh, it's so cute. But yeah, so pretty. And then let's check out the color page. Wow, yeah, this color page is very vibrant. I love the pink. They look stunning. But yeah, another flip through as well. The art for A Sign of Affection for the manga is just top notch. One of my favorite like designs, and I feel like they've Shimorishita has improved so much from, you know, their older series like a Butterfly to A Sign of Affection. It just gets more intricate and more detail as they work on their recent series. And then this is the volume 9 cover, which is a pink background, and again, I love that it's like a little pinky promise pose. Yeah, again, they look so good. And the back cover. For our color page, we have a solo shot of Yuki, and she looks so beautiful. What stands out for this color page is Yuki's hearing aid. It's such a nice accessory. Like, I love the flower detailing on her hearing aid. But again, like, she looks absolutely beautiful. That is it. And then as I flip through, you might notice that there's a lot more black hair presence in this volume, and that is because Itsumi actually dyes his hair later on. That is the A Sign of Affection volumes that I recently picked up, 7, 8, 9, and I'm super happy to have them. Here is the latest volume that was released for Noragami, volume 26, and with volume 26 we only have 2 more volumes until we hit the end of Noragami. I read the fan scans for Noragami, so it has been such a wild roller coaster with everything that's happened in the last couple of volumes. I was actually very sad that the series is finally over. I'm still processing it, and I guess until I get the actual volume 28, I'm still looking forward to collecting the remaining volumes and being happy that it's still ongoing, at least for the English physical translation. But yeah, this is the cover of volume 26 here, Yato, and it is a very tense cover as he is in battle. This is the back, and then we'll do a little bit of a flip through. I'm very hesitant when I'm doing flip throughs of like later volumes, just because like I know people are like reading the series still. I definitely want to be careful, but yeah, I'm super stoked to have this latest volume release and looking forward to collecting the next volume of Noragami. And here we have is the final volume of Lovesick Ellie. This is volume 12. It's been a journey collecting this series from beginning to end, and now that I actually own the entire series physically, definitely will set some time later on to binge read it. But yeah, on the cover we have is Ellie and Omi, and they are so adorable in the hugging pose that they're in. But yeah, I am just super stoked to have the series. It's a very lighthearted high school romantic comedy series, and I just adore Ellie as a main character. She is kind of like a funny female protagonist, and Omi is always kind of there, watching her little antics, but definitely love their chemistry and relationship dynamic with each other. They've definitely grown a lot since the beginning of the series as well. So yeah, so happy to have this in my collection. Here we have is volume 2 of Gazing at the Star Next Door, but I actually prefer the Japanese title just because it rolls off the tongue a little bit easier, so I'll just refer it to Tonari no Stella. But Tonari no Stella is a series I feel like is definitely like my top shoujo series. Now that Suraku JK to Hajin Kiyoshi is over, this is the series I look forward to every month when it's released, except for the months that they take a break to design the volumes or something like that. But yeah, I am just a sucker for this series trope, which is like a childhood friends to lovers series. And maybe that is kind of spoiler because like the to lovers part is like not very there yet, but for a series like this I feel like it's kind of predictable, but it's like the journey there that's like kind of like up and down, and like obviously you can't expect what the problems the main characters will face. But yeah, I am just a big fan of the female lead Chiaki. I just feel like her feelings portrayed in the story just resonates so deeply to me. I feel like the way that the mangaka has kind of portrayed or like showcase her feelings and like her thoughts just makes me feel like it's super relatable in a sense. And obviously there is Subaru. I feel like that's more of a hidden character in the series. Like obviously the main protagonist, the POV that we get is Chiaki, but I do think Subaru is also a very interesting and mysterious character, and I'm looking forward to seeing more on his like POV and perspective later on in the series. But yeah, I guess I'm speaking too much of it because I actually have been reading the series in Japanese whenever it's released digitally. So I am speaking more in a more hypothetical situation, but I do know what's going on with the latest chapters. Absolutely just love the art style. I am a sucker for this plot line. It just has me hanging on a rope and I can't get out of it. So yeah, that is Tonari no Stella. Super happy to have the second volume, and I believe the third volume is released now as well, but still on pre-order status on Books A Million, so I didn't buy it yet, but I definitely need to get it soon. So the next series we have here is How I Met My Soulmate, and I actually grabbed 2 volumes for the series. We have volume 2 and volume 3. So the volume 2 cover is with Seno, and then volume 3 features Yuki, our main protagonist. Glad that she's able to show up now because she looks absolutely stunning on her cover. But anyways, let's kind of take a look at the volume itself. I feel like Anna Shin's art has been popping off with this series, and they definitely have improved so much since Waiting for Spring. I have been also hooked on the series. Definitely really like the plot, even though it is kind of more traditional, I feel like, shoujo type of series. Then we have our cover with Yuki. Love kind of like her eye color, and her outfits, I think, is stunning. So yeah, love the jacket. Oh, it's so pretty. She's so pretty. Okay, and let's look at our color page here, and wow, this is a scene. Oh my gosh, the glare is not doing justice. I'm digging this water type scene. So beautiful. But yeah, just gonna flip through the volume itself. But yeah, not trying to spoil guys if you haven't read it yet. I am very stoked to have these latest 2 volumes. I have been behind on collecting A Condition Called Love, the manga volumes that are physically printed. I think I am still missing 2 more volumes that are in stock, but I did manage to grab 3 volumes for this haul. This is volume 5. And I adore the covers of all my favorite shoujo series because the main couples just look so cute on every cover. Hotaru and Hananoi, they're just so precious. And let me see if there's any color pages here. So none for A Condition Called Love. But yeah, kind of a short flip through. And then here we have is volume 6. Oh, this one is actually so cute. Actually, I love all the covers for A Condition Called Love. They all look amazing. Yep. Slight flip through here. So in terms of the series, I actually, outside of the manga itself, I did try to watch the anime adaptation. But yeah, this is volume 7. I kind of went on a tangent there, but I did really want to like finish watching A Condition Called Love anime, but just haven't yet. But yeah, otherwise, been loving reading the current volume releases for A Condition Called Love. Things are like a little bit more drama heavy at times, but I feel like we're going on the right direction. And yeah, I'm so excited to finally catch up on somewhat for the manga volumes, but still have some way to go. So yeah, that is A Condition Called Love, volumes 5, 6, and 7. So the remaining Kodansha titles I'm going to share with you guys are actually new series that I am initially just picking up for this haul. So they're a brand new series that I'm adding to my collection, and I'm super excited to share you guys what I got. So the first series I'm going to show you guys, this is Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, and this is the first volume. I was ecstatic when I heard that Kodansha is finally licensing this series physically, because it has been in like Kodansha's digital releases for quite a while. I've actually been reading the series on the K manga app because it is actually like simulpub with the Japanese releases. So we're in like the chapters like 100 plus at this point, which I don't know how many volumes that is equivalent to, but now we are finally having our first volume here, and definitely a long way to go in terms of volume releases, but better late than never. And honestly, like better now than never at this point. So in terms of the story, the book actually follows the male protagonist perspective, Rintaro, and the female character is Kaoru, and they attend different academies. So Rintaro attends an all-boys school, and then Kaoru attends an all-girls academy, and they're actually like next door to each other. Like windows to windows you can see the students. But unfortunately, Rintaro attends this like academy where they have really bad reputation. So it's like for delinquent, it's the lowest of the lows of the school. And Kawaku's academy is like the direct opposite. It's like for the high class, wealthy girls, and they are like very prestigious school. Anyways, so the two schools don't really get along with each other, and because the boys' school is such has a bad reputation, the girls from that school are very intimidated by all of the students that attend the boys' academy. But Rintaro and Kawaku actually meets in an outside setting, and so at first they actually don't know that they're attending like kind of like these opposite schools, but later on they do. But it's very interesting because obviously there's a lot of prejudice built up to both schools, and so like the boys academy has like thoughts on the girls academy, girls vice versa. It's just very refreshing to see. It's kind of like a Romeo Juliet-esque type of story, but not so heavy-handed, I would say. But I'm looking forward to collecting the continuing volumes of this series, and definitely still will be on track with reading the digital releases as well. But yeah, that is the first volume of The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. I have the first two volumes of I See Your Face, Turned Away, volumes 1 and 2, and I think the covers is just so fitting with the title because the characters are literally face turned away, which is, I don't know, it's so genius. Anyways, the mangaka for this series has actually written another series I read through Kodansha's digital releases called My Sweet Girl, and I'm actually a really big fan of that series. But again, it's locked in digital jail, so I was actually pleasantly happy when they mentioned My Sweet Girl in the first volume of I See Your Face, Turned Away, because I love when mangakas references their previous works, whether it's like a title mention or even character being inserted to their newest work. It's so cute. Anyways, just had to plug it in there, but I am super stoked to have the first two volumes, and I think in terms of the story, it's actually quite different from like any other series I have collected recently, because this series is actually a multi-POV series. And what I mean by that is that we not only get like maybe one or two characters' perspective in the story, but we actually get a multiple characters' perspective. First volume cover, we have Mori. Let me show you guys the cover itself too. But yeah, this is our cast of 4 characters. So again, we have Mori, her friend is Mari, and then the guy that sits in front of her, his name is Otani, and then his best friend name is Asagiri. But yeah, I wonder if there's a color page. Oh yeah, so the first couple pages is actually in color. So yeah, this is a more close-up of the main characters. Yeah, and then we have our second volume here of our Otani cover. So yeah, we have a more expanded picture of the classroom of the back cover. But yeah, like we have our 4 main characters here, and yeah, these images definitely shows a lot. But yeah, also character relationship, which you guys can take a read at. But yeah, this is a series I've been following since the release of the first chapter, and I have to say this is one of my favorite shoujo series that's currently ongoing as well. I have a lot of favorite ongoing shoujos, but this one definitely is one I look forward to a lot. In terms of like current releases, I even buy the chapters in Japanese just so I can see what's going on. My Japanese reading level is still very elementary, I would say, but I do think it's very good practice as I try to advance my Japanese reading and writing and all that stuff. So yeah, I am so happy to have the first 2 volumes of I See Your Face, Turned Away. We have the first 3 volumes of Anyway, I'm Falling in Love with You, And actually, this series has been translated officially in English, but through Kodansha's digital jail. So I was not that sure if they would ever announce a physical print for it, but better late than never. We actually got the physical announcement last year, and this was like my high priority to buy list because I really enjoyed this series a lot. But yeah, we have the first 3 volumes here, and for the digital releases we have a couple of volumes that are kind of ahead, but I'm pretty sure we'll catch up to the digital releases pretty soon. So I'm very ecstatic for that. But anyways, to give you guys some context on the story, this series is actually like a time jump series. So we start off present day 2020, the middle of the pandemic. It's kind of funny because the series was actually released during the middle of the pandemic, and it follows our protagonist Mizuho, and she is kind of like, you know, her adult setting era. You get some perspective on where she's at and her relationship with her friends, which are the guys on the covers here. So they all are still connected with each other except for one of them. But overall, things are, you know, normal except for one mystery guy. And then we actually jump back in time to high school. So all of them are close friends because they're actually childhood friends. So they're in high school, and from high school, you actually get the setting of like where things have shifted among the group of friends, and, you know, will build up to why things are the way they are in the present day. But basically, the story starts off with Mizuho. She actually confesses her crush to an older classmate that's in the swim team. However, he ends up rejecting her, so she is devastated by the rejection, and then her group of friends are there to kind of support her. But because of this rejection, things are looking to shift in terms of the relationship dynamic between her and a couple of the guys in her friend group. Won't say anymore because I think you guys should definitely check it out if you have the chance. In other news, this series is actually getting an anime adaptation that is getting released in 2025. So they made the announcement last month, and I'm just so excited to see how this adaptation will take the story. I watched the trailer as well as looked at the key visuals. It doesn't look too bad, so hopefully this adaptation will be good. But what was actually very interesting is that this character here, his name is Kizuki, one of the male friends of Mizuho. He is voiced by Kazuki Ura, who voices Isagi from Blue Lock. I mentioned at my Anime Expo haul that I actually got an autograph signing with Kazuki Ura, and actually during the signing I mentioned that I was looking forward to his new role with Kizuki because they actually announced the anime adaptation and the voice casting just a couple days before Anime Expo. And so when I told him that, he was like very surprised because he was like, oh, like I didn't expect anyone to even bring that up because the news is so new. And so yeah, I was like, this is one of my favorite shoujo series, so I'm very glad that he is voicing one of my favorite characters in the story, because Kizuki is actually my favorite male character in the series. And so he was like laughing with me, and it was a very cute interaction. But anyways, so yeah, this is our first volume cover here. And then in the back, we have our group of friends. So yeah, this is Mizuho. And then we have Aru, Kizuki, Shin, and Sugo. I would say the love interest aspect of this story is kind of obvious, but there are some like obviously drama and conflicts around the way. We have Shin on the cover. And then last but not least, we have Aru. And again, I actually love the color of his hair. It's so pretty. And our guys are just so stunning as well. I guess in terms of another story that's kind of similar to this type of trope, or at least the aspect of one girl and multiple guys is like waiting for spring. But yeah, the art style for this series is so beautiful as well. I am so happy to have Anyway, I'm Falling in Love with You, and if you guys are curious to check it out, I highly recommend the series. So we reached our final series under the Kodansha publication, and it is A Kingdom of Quartz. We have volumes 1 and 2. And before I talk more about the story itself, I actually wanted to share a quick story about my experience with the mangaka Bomb Hat. So Bomb Hat is actually an artist I have met at anime conventions in the past couple of years, and so I was so shocked when she had announced that she was having her own work that was being serialized thanks to the Kodansha publishing company. It's just so crazy that I am able to meet like all these incredible artists in the artist alley and be able to reach these heights. It's just so amazing to me. But anyways, I am such a big fan of Bomb Hat. I love her art style a lot. The series starts off with our main protagonist. Her name is Blue, and she is an angel that lives in an orphanage. What's a little bit unique about Blue is that she is an angel with black wings, which is actually something that she gets judged for. A lot of people don't like her because they think she's, you know, not an appropriate angel. But she's a very strong and determined girl and doesn't let that really bother her. But anyways, in the world that she lives in, angels and demons are fighting against each other, and unfortunately her orphanage gets entangled with that situation where the demons actually attacks her orphanage, or the area that her orphanage is located. And so her orphanage and all of her friends, her, you know, the person who takes care of her, they get wiped out, and it's absolutely devastating. And Blue, because of what has happened, is determined to get stronger, and so she ends up joining Angel Academy at the end of volume 1. And so I'll leave it to that in terms of giving you guys kind of a synopsis of the story. She does meet a couple of various other angels, like this guy here. This is Prince Cassian, which is a high regarded angel, and he ends up saving her in one particular situation, but he's definitely a mysterious man himself. But anyways, gonna show you guys the volume covers and a slight flip through, and I actually have something special to show you guys as well. So I actually met Bomb Hat recently at Anime Revolution. I attended that convention in August, and so I actually asked her to sign my book, and so she signed my book and also added a stamp. So here is her A Kingdom of Quartz stamp with our character Blue here, which is so nice. This is the color page, and Bomb Hat's illustration is just immaculate. She just has such amazing detail, and I'm just always so like awed by her. All of the panels that she's illustrated, it's just incredible. But anyways, so as I flip through the end, here you guys see. So I had Bomb Hat sign my volume 1, but she also drew me Blue. So I'm very ecstatic to have this little illustration of her. So cute. And then here we have is volume 2 as well. Prince Cassian in Blue here. As you can see, the black wings. I also had Bomb Hat sign my volume 2 as well, and she even drew me Prince Cassian, which I am so appreciative of. And then I got the stamp of Blue here. And then yeah, the again art illustration of the series is just so beautiful in detail, and I'm just obsessed with Bomb Hat's art style. This is A Kingdom of Quartz, volumes 1 and 2 by Bomb Hat. If you guys are interested in checking out the series, definitely something I highly recommend. I am just so happy to be able to support my favorite artist, Bomb Hat, and yeah, I'm super stoked to continue collecting the feature volumes of this series. Moving on, the next titles I'm gonna show you guys are all under the Seven Seas publication. Let me show you guys the first series here. So we have volumes 8 and 9 of Skip and Loafer. Again, beautiful covers. I love the Mitsumi and Shima illustrations for both of these volumes. So in volume 8 here, we have them wearing more like formal attire, Mitsumi in her dress, and then Shima in his suit, and the umbrella is just a nice touch as well. I can give you guys a little bit of a flip through. This is the back, spine. And yeah, I think I've been really enjoying the latest volume releases and chapters that we've been getting, mainly because I do think it provides more insight on Shima's backstory. Definitely been hinted along throughout the course of the series, but we're getting into the nitty-gritty details on why Shima is the way he is. And obviously, I think he's faced a lot of challenges as he was growing up, being a child actor, and then his family situation as well. Here is volume 9, and obviously, if you can't tell, this is definitely a summer theme volume with the watermelons and of course the floaty. I have read the fan scanlation of Skip and Loafer just because I have no patience whatsoever, but this is definitely one of my favorite arcs because it is their summer arc where they visit Mitsumi's hometown for the first time, and her friends are able to kind of see like what Mitsumi's family life is, where she grew up, and definitely a lot more revelation that comes in play of just them getting to know her, which is always nice because I think Mitsumi is just a wonderful character, and her friends being able to visit where she grew up is also like a really nice touch. Those are the 2 volumes for Skip and Loafer. The next series I'm going to share is one I've been quite behind for a while, but I'm glad to play catch up, and I think I'm still kind of behind, but hopefully by the next haul I will be able to collect all the volumes that's currently out. But yeah, it is Yakuza Fiance, so I picked up volume 5, 6, and 7. So I read Yakuza Fiance a while back when it was still in its fan scanlation days, and then obviously took a break from it because the scanlation was a little bit slow, as well as I think the chapter updates for Yakuza Fiance is a little bit different as well. And so I have reread the series only to volume 1 when I first picked up the physical print in English, and then I haven't really read it since, unfortunately. So all the details in the later volume is a little bit fuzzy on my end. But I'm super glad to be able to continue collecting the series, and I think at this point I will read the entire series based on like what I've owned so far, because the anime adaptation is coming out this fall season, so I definitely want to read side by side on like how things are different. And yeah, I am just super excited for that. So the anime adaptation announcement came out late last year, and we're getting the anime next month, so super fast how time has fly. But yeah, we have our 3 volumes here, 5, 6, and 7. So on this cover here we have Yoshino and Soma, who's part of her Yakuza family. This volume here, I believe that's Kirishima and Yoshino, and then we have, I believe this is a new character, so I don't really know him too well, but I did see a glimpse of him previously, and then that's Yoshino as well. So nothing much to flip through. The back is kind of fairly just a synopsis of the volume itself, and obviously we can look at the art. Very beautiful illustration, of course. So yeah, I'm really excited to finally pick things back up and actually catch up and remember the newer plot points that's in the series. But just kind of a quick glimpse, I am very excited to see what's going on. There's a lot of intense fighting in this next couple of volumes, so very excited to see all that. I do love the different color flowers for these different volumes. I'm actually very curious to see how Yoshino and Kirishima relationship has developed since the beginning, or actually where I left off as well, because it looks like they were getting closer. And that is Yakuza Fiance. And we have another series. I'm doing major catch-up, and I know for sure this series I am totally behind still. We have volume 2 of Last Game, volume 4 of Last Game, and volume 5. So I have in my collection volumes 1 and 3, and I bought volume 3 because it was heavily discounted on in-stock trades when they used to do like really big discounts on mangas and like novels. They don't do that anymore, so that is that. But for my Books A Million haul, I just did some catch up on getting that volume 2 and then the other 2 volumes that have been released. But I think there has been more volumes that's in stock. I just limited myself as usual to 3 volumes. Last Game is an older shoujo series that was completed a couple years back, and I mainly am just collecting this for nostalgia purposes because I did read this series Fan Scanlation years back in high school, and so I just wanted to collect and support the physical release to support the mangaka. But eventually I will sit down and reread the series again with fresh eyes once I finish collecting all of the physical volumes for this series, which I feel like we're getting close there. We'll just give you guys a quick flip through of the volumes. I love these like little collages of different illustrations. I don't think there's any color pages per se, but yeah, again, I love the art as well. And then we have volume 4, again similar style to the back cover of the last volume, and I also love that it's like kind of like this notebook binding, which is really a nice touch. Lots of things going on in this volume. And then finally we have volume 5 here, and I love this pose of them together. So adorable. Ooh, this is so cute. So kind of similar to the other covers, but we have the chibi versions of the character. If you guys don't know, I love chibis versions of my favorite characters. There's just something about chibis that make it so lighthearted and adorable. So, oh, this is so cute. And then flip through as well. I think this is a big part of the love triangle aspect here. But yeah, that is the 3 volumes for Last Game. So I'm gonna move on and talk about the light novels I picked up under the Seven Seas publication. I believe most of these are under their like Airship imprint, which is focused on the novels that they have translated. Anyways, I've only picked up a couple from various series that I'm currently reading. So first is volume 1 of Time Loop, The Villianess Enjoys a Carefree Life, Married to Her Worst Enemy. So technically this is a new one-ish in terms of I have the first volume, but I actually own one other volume for this series already, so I've already talked about it once. And that is volume 4 because of in-stock trade where they had heavily discounted this volume. So I am now working my way to collecting the newer the volumes that I need to collect. So the first 3 volumes and then any new volumes that they have released since volume 4. But anyways, yeah, I have not read the light novel yet. I've only watched the anime adaptation of 7 Time Loop, and I thoroughly enjoyed it a lot. So the anime did its job because now I'm buying the original edition of 7 Time Loop, and I'm super excited to get into the nitty-gritty details of the story because I know anime usually cuts some stuff out, simplify things, and so I always really enjoy reading novels and getting, you know, fuller details of certain plots that has happened in the story. So yeah, this is 7 Time Loop right here. And yeah, if you guys are interested, please check out the anime. I think the anime only covers like maybe the first volume or so. Luckily for this series, we actually have some like illustrations throughout the book. So like Riche and Arnold, very cute. They are so adorable. I think I missed a couple of them. Here as well. Vishay meeting someone from her past that she used to work with. And then this is the like iconic balcony scene that happens in the beginning of the first episode. But yeah, that is 7-Time Loop, and I'm super stoked to have this. And then the next series I got another volume for is Raven of the Inner Palace. Now I'm doing a terrible job when it comes to reading the series and collecting the series because I own volume 1 and 3. Volume 3 I bought through in-stock trade, so now I'm collecting volume 2. But I decided to collect the novel of Raven of the Inner Palace because I did enjoy the anime when it came out last year or 2 years before. So it came out a while back and I was very fascinated about the story, and obviously I just had a feeling that it wasn't going to get a season 2, so I opted to collect the novel because there's only 7 volumes in total. So I was very curious to see how this story would pan out and conclude. But I have not had a chance to read the novel yet, so I think I'm just gonna collect the volumes as I go, and then eventually once I have all 7 volumes I just need to sit down and read it. And since this volume doesn't have any illustrations, I'm just gonna show you guys the cover. I definitely need to collect the remaining volumes that has been released since then, and I think the series is actually almost done in terms of like the physical translation. While I was buying volume 2, I saw that volume 6 was on pre-order, so a lot of the volumes have been released and I think it's almost done. So maybe the next haul I'll collect the remaining volumes and just call it done and then sit down and read it. So yeah, that is Raven of the Inner Palace. And then the final novel that I got is a Danmei that you guys probably have heard me talk about a million times on my channel, and it is Heaven's Official Blessing. This is volume 7. So like the other novels that I collected, I feel like I've been collecting things like out of order for my novels. I bought volume 8, which is the final volume of TGCF last year because it was a limited edition. So I was like, oh no, I need to buy this limited edition soon or else it might go out of stock. But I think the limited edition is still on sale, which is kind of funny. Anyways, this is the final volume I'm missing for TGCF, so I am now done with this series, and now I can actually reread the series in its physical form. So I read the whole entire series digitally through fan scanlation, very grateful of that many years back. I am super excited to have this final volume, even though this isn't the final volume. But yeah, so we have the cover here with Shilan and Hua Cheng. He is helping Hua Cheng write something adorable, and look at Hua Cheng just staring our boy so lovingly. And then this is the back. Lifetimes of cruelty, centuries of devotion. Isn't that right? And yeah, so I'll just show you guys the first color page, which is an expanded version of our cover. And then we have here a more like animated illustration style on this, just them like at like a festival, and it's so cute. But yeah, that is everything. There are a couple of illustrations throughout the book, but I won't show you guys just in case it does spoil any other details. That covers all of our novels under the 7 Seas publication. So we have our final series here under the 7 Seas line, and this one is obviously the new series I mentioned previously that I recently picked up, and it is Reliving My Life with a Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me, Volume 1. Before I actually get into the volume itself, I wanted to share that I actually got into the series thanks to the novel edition, which was recommended to me by my friend. And the novel title, I don't remember on the top of my head, goes by a different name that is much longer, so I'll put it in the screen if I remember, but that one just has like an interesting title. The novel is actually translated by J Novel Club, which is a publisher that translates a lot of Japanese novels into English. So it is digitally available. The first 2 volumes are already out. I'm waiting for the 3rd volume, which I guess from the release dates of the first 2 might come out every 2 to 3 years. So hopefully it comes out soon, because I believe there's only 4 total volumes of the novel for this series. But what you guys see here is the physical print of the manga adaptation of the novel. I actually really like the manga adaptation for the series. Obviously the novel is words, but they do have a couple of illustrations here and there. But the first 2 volumes, I did see that it had different artists, so the art of the character design wasn't as consistent. So the story is a reincarnation series, and we start off with our main protagonist, Oriana, and she is a student that attends this like magic school. We basically set off at the time where she's about to graduate from this magic school. She's actually also dating this guy. His name is Vincent, who is the same age as her. Because it's her last day and her graduation's coming up, she's busy with a couple of things, but her and Vincent promise to meet later in the afternoon, and she ends up meeting Vincent at their planned location. He is sitting in this room on a chair, sleeping at first glance. However, as Oriana tries to talk to Vincent, she notices that he's not responding, and it looks like he's actually passed away. And so Oriana is shocked by what's happened, and she's trying to figure out what has caused this, but she also ends up losing consciousness. So reincarnated as her 7-year-old past self, Oriana is determined to again reunite with Vincent, and this time prevent him from dying on that day. And so we basically follow Oriana kind of making very specific decisions in order to connect with Vincent earlier. And when she does meet him at the Magic Academy many years later, he obviously does not remember her, even though she had kind of assumed that he would. And so they're basically strangers, and has to start from square one in order to get close to him again. Let me show you guys the cover itself. Very pretty. And then this is the cover page as well. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to read this again. I'm excited to collect the future volumes of the manga adaptation as well. Like, you guys, look at this. The art is so beautiful. Alright, but yeah, that is Reliving My Life with a Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me, Volume 1. So I have a couple of other series that I picked up that's not 7 Seas and Kodansha related. So first we have is the series right here. This is We Can't Do Just Plain Love Volume 2. And this is licensed by Tokyo Pop and physically printed by them as well. So I actually read the series a long time ago when it was like fan scanlated, and I really enjoyed it. It's a adult romance series that's occurs in a workplace setting, and both of them have some sort of interesting characteristics. So she is obsessed with his smell. He has a trauma with women based on like a past relationship, and so they are kind of like in this like interesting relationship circumstance. This is the back of the cover, and oh my gosh, it's the chibi versions of them. So yeah, this is Yuno and Kiratani. They are so adorable in that form. And then this is also their colleague this is their colleague at their workplace. I'm very stoked to have the second volume of We Can't Do Just Plain Love. Moving on, the other series I also got is actually an older order I placed on Right Stuff Anime, but now I just got, and it is volume 15 of Dengeki Daisy. Oh my goodness, whenever I get a package from Crunchyroll, because I don't really order from Crunchyroll, I am just always so happy because it's one of my really old back orders that I placed back in like 2020 or 2021, and there's just so many shoujo beat volumes I'm still missing that I'm like please one day could you reprint it. So I am super stoked to have one more volume of Dengeki Daisy, and with that I now have 10 volumes of the series and I still have 6 to go, so hopefully I will get it someday in the future, and I really just hope that they don't cancel those remaining 6 volumes because I will be devastated. But anyways, very happy to have this. We have Kurosaki on the cover of the series. I haven't read Dengeki Daisy in a while, so I hopefully can reread it someday in the future, but maybe when I actually get all 16 volumes of the series. So yeah, anyways, I really love the chemistry between Kurosaki and Teru, even though it is kind of a little bit on the problematic side because it is a student and older adult age gap setting, so not for everyone, but I don't really mind it, so take it with a grain of salt. So very happy to have this latest volume. It is quite yellow. I don't know if they actually reprinted this or they found it in their warehouse and then sent it over, but nevertheless I am truly happy to have this volume. So yeah, this is volume 15 of Dengeki Daisy. So these next batch of books here are actually gifted to me by Yen Press, and it features a lot of their books from various imprints. So Yen Press itself, Ice Press for the manhwas, and Yenon for its light novels. So I'm gonna go through all the books that I was given, and all these were either new releases from the past couple of months or future releases that will be released in the next month or so. So I'm very excited to show you guys all of these new titles. And I'll speak to ones that I have knowledge about and show you guys the books for the ones I don't really know too much, just so you guys can see what's out there. And yeah, so I put all the books I do know on the top. So the first title we have here is Spring Storm and Monster, and it is actually another title that Yen Press has licensed that's written by Mitsubashi Sensei. She has written the 2 other works called Cheeky Brat and Stray Cat and Wolf. Both are licensed and currently being physically printed by Yen Press, and this Spring Storm and Monster is the current series that Mitsubashi Sensei is writing. She's also writing Stray Cat and Wolf as well at the same time, but this is like her latest release that's being published under the Hanetime magazine as well. The series follows a girl named Ran. She's kind of this very introverted girl that's super shy, and her mom just recently got remarried to this guy who has supposedly another son, and the son, his name is Kaya. He's kind of like this really rebellious boy, and he at first doesn't really like Ran. They're kind of like opposites to each other, and he's quite intimidating. She's kind of like this meek girl, but their relationship kind of goes to a very weird direction, I would say. And so yeah, they're step siblings technically, but there is some sort of romantic element for it. Well, I would say it's kind of one-sided-ish or two-sided if you want to say it, but yeah, it's kind of a complicated story for the most part. But what I really like about the series is that Ran actually has a pet pig that she takes a lot of comfort with. Her pig name is Magosuke, which is really cute. And so yeah, I do really like the story. I feel like Mitsubashi Sensei's work, at least like her current ones, are a little bit different and not as like receptive to maybe like Cheeky Brat per se, but I still really enjoy it. I'm not surprised that Yen Press ended up licensing this story just because it is another title by a mangaka they've already licensed previously. But again, like the art style of Mitsubashi Sensei's work is always very eye-catching. So we have clean cover of Kaya on the front, and it's also a color page. And then we got a couple of more illustration of Kaya and Ran. So yeah, they have a very interesting dynamic that may not be comfortable with other people, but just wanted to let you guys know in case you are curious. So yeah, quick flip through, but that is the first volume of Spring Storm and Monster. So the next series we have here is a manhwa called Finding Camilla. I haven't really read the latest chapters for this series because it's actually an ongoing series, but it was digitally licensed in English first. I read it on Manta app a while back and kind of stopped because I stopped my Manta subscription. I think it's still continuing on that app, so if you guys are interested in reading outside of volume 1 content, that is definitely available. So on the cover we have our two main protagonists, Camila and Claude here, and I think the cover is very pretty with the like light blue background. But to give you guys kind of a quick synopsis on this one, so Camila was basically born from a wedlock, and her mom is like very poor, and so they are like living in this like rundown city, and then she gets picked up by basically the wife of the husband that cheated or had an affair on her. And then she picks up Camila because she wants Camila to stand in for her stepbrother. His name is Kieran, and Kieran at that time is a very weak child, gets very sick, and so Camila, who as you can see here is a girl, is basically disguised as herself as a male in order to like take place of her older brother, essentially. I don't remember her boy name, I think it's Camillus or something like that. But yeah, she is kind of disguised as a boy. And Claude is friends with Kieran. He's from this like very noble Duke family, and he takes a liking on Camila. At first, I guess they're not that fond of each other, but I guess he's just very curious of Camila or Camillus. So that's where we're at least in the beginning of the series, though there are lots of other things later. Love the art for the series, though I think I have a lot of catching up to do. There are a lot of good-looking men in this story, and rivals, all that sort of stuff. So the childhood phase of the story kind of ends pretty briefly, so they're much older later on, which is nice. I'm very happy that Ice Press decided to physically print this series. And then the next story I have here is Pink Habanero. This is actually another series I read through fan scanlation and sort of took a pause because I lost interest in the series, but now that I have volume 1, I'm keen on continuing the story just to see if I will lose interest in it again, but that's just my kind of initial perception. But Pink Habanero follows a girl named Mugi, and she just started high school and really has no friends, and as she like starts her first day, she sees this guy. His name is Kuros. He's very popular, lots of girls are attracted to him. One of the girls is asking him out and he's like, no, he's not interested. And then she was like, oh, the way you said it was kind of harsh. They definitely don't have a good start with each other. And then later on, she ends up going to this cafe, which is like a night theme cosplay cafe, and she sees that he's actually working there, and he has this like different persona because he's obviously working at this like cosplay cafe. He like tells her like, you need to keep this a secret, right? He doesn't want people to know. And if you guys can't already tell, the setup is kind of giving me vibes of Maid Sama, so that's why I initially had picked it up, because I was like, oh, it's like Maid Sama but like reverse gender, because you know the guy is working at the cafe and then obviously the girl finds out his job, vice versa to Maid Sama where it's different genders, but of course it's a little bit different. Gonna give you guys a flip through of the volume. Again, the characters very pretty. Love the illustration and the character design. We even get this little cute piggyback scene as well. But yeah, so that is volume 1 of Pink Habanero. So yeah, as I mentioned, the rest of the series here, I actually am not very familiar with, so I'll just kind of share the title, maybe my first impression of the book, but overall I won't be able to give you guys the best synopsis of the story. But if you guys are interested, again, I'll leave all the titles in my description box. So we have here Apocalypse Bringer Minogra I'm definitely butchering that pronunciation, but it says world conquest begins with civilization of the ruin. So here we have it. Ooh, chibis. That is cute though. And usually Yen Press Books has like a color page, so that's always very nice to see. Flip through. Then we have the Dark History of the Reincarnate Villianess, and this is the short story collection. Whoa, I feel like I've read this series before. I actually feel like I have the first volume that was gifted to me by Yen Press, but I don't remember it because I only read one volume of it, so I totally forgot about it. But looking at this now, I think this is very familiar. But it's like but the cover has like a chibi style version of the characters. It's really cute. But yeah, this seems to be kind of like a bonus volume, so that's very interesting. Very nice. Okay, and then we have Demon Crest Reality Erosion. Oh, it's written by the same author as Sword Online. Cool. And we have this little cute little bunny, and yeah, it's a novel. So let me see if there's any illustrations, which it does. Got this as well, and it's kind of scattered throughout the volume, which is nice. And then we have the Hachichi Specialty Tengus Love. It's very cute. Ooh, it's actually a pretty dense volume. Lots of content. It's very nice. I might try to read this in a little bit. Looks very cute. And then we have Babel. A girl embarks on a journey of words. So characters look very pretty. And then it's a novel, so lots of words. I'm not sure if I will be able to get into the series anytime soon, but it is very interesting. Oh, and then we have our two main characters, Shizuku and Eric. So that is Babel here. And then we have In Another World, My Sister Stole My Name. Very interesting title. So this is a manga. Ooh, very beautiful illustration. This has caught my eye. The characters are very, very pretty. All right, goes. Oh, this one is, oh, oopsie, whatever. So we have A Sinner of the Deep Sea. Ooh, a mermaid setting story. This is the back. Ooh, wow, I love this like gold page. Wow. I love the mermaid illustrations, and under the sea settings are always very nice to look at. Okay, and then we have Strategic Lovers, which is a volume that is wrapped, so definitely not for a general audience to look at. And then this one is Sister and Giant. We have our colored cover page here. Ooh, there are some very detailed monsters and other creatures. Ooh, that looks very scary. All right, so that's that. There's only one more volume here, so I will also kind of show you this. So this one is Aria of the Beach Forest. This is actually very pretty. Again, chibi characters in the back cover. Let's see the, oh, no color page for this volume. So it's like a witch setting series. I love her hat. It's very big. And of course, I love a series where they have an animal companion. That's so adorable. Definitely will keep my eye out on this story for sure. And then we have here the magical girl and the evil lieutenant used to be arch enemies. You guys, this volume is humongous and it's like very heavy. Whoa. This is actually very different from like any of the volumes I've received so far. This is actually very interesting. I am fascinated. This is a very like even the page quality is very different. It's like extremely paper compared to like the manga paper or even the light novels that I have showed you guys. Like, as you can see how like white the pages are. I feel like I recognize this series. Does it have an anime adaptation? I think it might. Or but yeah, as you can see, there's quite a lot of content for this volume. Actually, let me see if this is like volume 1 or this is like the whole story. It doesn't mention that it's volume 1, so maybe this is like the full series. But at the end of the day, this is super cool, so definitely will check it out. And then the last one is another, I think, Ice Press title. Yeah, so this is called Your Letter, and I feel like I've read this story a long time ago on Webtoons or some sort of app, but I don't remember all too much about this series. And I think this story this is it for the series. It's like quite a short one, so yeah, I cannot show you guys the illustration because it is wrapped. That is the volume here. Thank you, Yen Press, for sending me all of these new titles. I am really excited to take some time in the next couple months and check them out. If you guys are interested in my thoughts on the books that was gifted to me, I will leave like my reviews of any series that I read on my Instagram. But yeah, that is everything that I got from Yen Press, and with that wraps up our haul. Alright, so here is an overview of all the new volumes that I picked up for this haul, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for sticking around and listening to me share my thoughts and commentary of all of these different series. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye!